Hello guys, welcome to another video. Today we have here this Alfa 159 to replace here the rear shocks. Actually, I will replace the springs because the shocks are good, are new. The customer just wants to bring back the height of the car to the original height because it is damaging a lot of components. So we will do that. On this suspension system here on the front, I do already have a video for that. It is down on the description if you want to know more about that, on the playlist for suspension components, issues, solutions, and much more. So here on the back, at first glance, you'll see that it seems to be possible to do everything from the outside, and until a certain point it is possible, but you will see that it is necessary to remove the center nut that is on the inside of the car. This will do also for sedans, and on the sedan is a little bit harder because of the access to it, okay? So on this one, I believe it is for the best because SWs have a lot more room to work and to record, okay? So raise up here the rear of the car. For that, I also will advise you how I do it. Make sure that your car is secure, okay? And make sure you have the proper equipment. So you have the jack stands and you have a good jack so you can have a secure work, because we will do a lot of force on the suspension. It has to flex down quite a bit to be able to, mainly to insert the new the new shocks, okay? So let's go. Here you can see, here we have it. This is the complete assembly of the shock, of the rear shock, the bottom bolt, and a nut on that hole over there. Okay, that one over there, 4 bolts there on top, and it seems to be only that, but in fact it is not. Another quick tip that I have for you over here is on the TI spec, this part over here, this small spacer over here, is different on the TI. Reason why sometimes the rear is so high up on these cars instead of the TI is really this part, this spacer. Okay, you can identify the TI by having blue bellows over here, the boots. And okay, so I also will take out here this nut for the sway bar to help me out with the torsion of the suspension. This is an 18 nut with a 5mm internal here on the link. If you have a lot of corrosion, this is not the way to do it. If you have a lot of corrosion, what you have to do is to clean off the threads with a wire brush or something, then use some spray, and then go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until it comes off. Possibly you have to cut out a bit of the threads because the tip is usually the worst bit, and in that way be able to take this out. Okay, this is just for peace of mind. Next we have here the bottom bolt of the shock absorber. 21 on this side, 21 on the side of the nut, apparently. And again, apparently here in Portugal this come out very smoothly. This does not come out on your case. Again, go back and forward, back and forward, back and forward on both sides in order to be able to do this. Okay, so now the suspension is doing quite a lot of force upwards. That prevents me to take out here this bolt, and this is why I need to disconnect it to be able to push it down. You may want to push it out here with a pry bar over here to go down. Be careful not to damage here this heat protection on the disc. This is the Torx E14 here on the 4 bolts. I usually take out 3 and leave just one just hanging there, because once I reach the nut to spin it out, this has to be secured in some way, so I leave this one. Obviously you can do however you like, just my thing, my way of doing it. Yay! So now we have to see where the nut goes, the top part, and of course it goes to the inside of the car. And for that we have to take out here this side cushion over here. For that we have to take out here the bottom bench over here. For that we have to destroy to connect two clips. So we are doing something else, okay? So on that side I already tried to do that. I believe it is possible. Lowering here this side of the thing, taking out here this bolt, 10mm head bolt, and pushing to a side the side cushion over here. We can access here the top of the nut with some extensions and the swivel thing. I believe we can. So let's try it. So taking out here to the side and pushing it here, this mat to the side, we can see there the nut. Now we have to guess what is the nut size. I believe 16, 15 maybe. Turns out it will do. I already did on the other side. On my case I have a 16, so I have this contraption over here. Okay, this swivel is it will work on impact, and you will need that. Okay, and I have a long 16. These are not original shocks, so it can be different on your case. I just want to fit that in there, and then you have to do it with an impact. Well, you just don't have to, but On this case, it really has to, because it is a lock nut, and in any other way, you have to secure the shaft of the shock, and we do not have much access to that, and I do not have the tools. Here you go. To try to make it as straight as possible, so it goes well. I'm seeing here evidence of poor assembly. Let's see if I can save these shocks. I also have here a spacer that I have to remove. And now a longer pry bar than this one. I do it here on this area of the spindle and going down over here like this, okay? You have to do some force, okay? I also have to take out here the rest of the bolt. And put it back with the rest of the fire. Who gets that? Putting the fire with the rest of the fire. Take a look there on the shaft. Ta-da! So what is the thing here? Over here we have the bottom of the shock, and as you can see, it is not straight with the shock itself, okay, the top mount. So what I do usually is to create here a target that will be there, that jug over there, and once I am inserting this in place, it will go straight. Now you can ask me why just not copy the position of the spring, because the other spring does not start or end in the same position as that one, so you have to have that in mind, okay? So the original spring is not the same as this lowering one. Another thing that I'll do is, because my tool is too thick to go here on the coils, I will push out this nut almost all the way through. Be very careful with that, okay? In order to create more space here to insert the tool, okay? Now at this point you can replace whatever you want to replace, so the shock, the boot and the bump stop, the spring, rubbers, whatever you like, okay? Just do whatever you like and continue with the work, okay? So the original spring only goes on one way, like so. Yeah, it is different from the lowering one, the profile of it. Over here we have to see where the spring begins, over there. Okay, like this. Now obviously will not do, okay. We have to use this. Just do enough to be able to put in the top mount. Probably that is it. This also moves over here on the wheel steins, so be careful with that. I really do not like the Wilstein or Wilstein shocks, mainly here these black ones, the normal ones, because they do make a lot of noise. They do not last very long, and just poor quality overall on the B4 ones, the normal ones. This thing over here, this plate over here, for example, spins. I do not like that. I know that on the Mercedes this is just the way it is, but not to my taste. Or the customer, for that matter. Oh, you cannot do that. You can. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Let's go. Now let's insert this in place. Make sure this peg is going to the back of the car. Now you want to go almost all the way through, because next you want to insert the bottom bolt. For that you have to have the shock almost secure all the way. Dun, 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 dun. If you live in cold places with snow and salt on the road, now is the time to use plenty of anti-seize on that bolt, okay? So what remains is only that the stud over there, which we have to do here, this head, and then the nut. The head will go on this position, so this can touch there on the bodywork, okay? And then do that 16, on this case, a 16 nut. Very crunchy. Yay! So do the same on the other side, and then do this side bolsters over here, and we are done. Then we have to do a alignment. So on the back of these cars I usually do factory alignment. Make sure to align toe and camber on the back, and on the front I usually do 0, so neutral, no toe in or toe out, and no other alignment is possible on the front of the 159. Sometimes what may happen is we have a plastic foam thing over here to stop noises, some very dense foam. So guys, if you need more videos for suspension, for shock absorbers, for everything shocks and whatnot, you have down on the description a lot of videos that can and will be useful for you. I'm doing here 1, 2, 3 gearboxes for clutches and whatnot. Also here to repair leaks on this gearbox and repair third gear on this one. That one, sorry about the wind, it's a flywheel, timing belts as well. Also for timing belts you have down on the description videos for that. And as you can see here, the back of the car is just perfect. From factory it is just like that. Although the Bilstein shock is shorter, so that back end over there might be a little bit lower than it should. So I have to consult with the customer for that, okay? Also the car is not really straight on the ground. As you can see, this side is much better, okay? Do not forget to do the alignment, okay? Just drive the car for a bit before going to the alignment. See you next time, guys. Bye!